Shots fired.
What is up, TKW Warriors? Jay King.
And TJ Hunter. Sorry, my knee hurts a little bit today.
Welcome back, TJ. This is a very, very special episode of TKW Predictions. Not only is it the return of TJ Hunter, but it's the return of fantasy booking.
It's been way too long. It's been 6 months since we posted our last fantasy booking.
And this one,
I'll let you go on with it.
this one's good. We are fantasy booking for this championship. But what exactly are we fantasy booking, TJ?
We are fantasy booking the retirement of the dead man. It's something that's been a long time coming. And, you know, I'm really interested to see how WWE does it, but I like our booking. So.
I really want to see how WWE do it too.
Alright, well, I'll start things off as champion. So here we go. April 7th, 2018, NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Not super big points, but it is important to the story. Andrade retains the NXT Championship, so Alistair doesn't win. And Velveteen Dream wins the North American Championship. Alright, April 8th, WrestleMania 34. Undertaker's still going to squash John Cena just like normal. And now this is where it gets interesting. Now, WrestleMania 34, and later in my fantasy booking, I do have Super Showdown, and it does have Triple H versus Undertaker. Not part of the story, it's just there because it's real. But every single thing else is 100% fantasy, so nothing else is based in reality, starting now. Alright, April 9th, Raw After Mania. Obviously, John Cena's going to come out, he's going to come out a little heelish this time, and he's going to be understandably irate because Undertaker waited to the last possible minute to come out at WrestleMania. And he feels like Undertaker was a coward for waiting so long, and he thinks that he could beat him. He says Undertaker showed his true colors, but, you know, nothing happens. Same story, you know, do something. He doesn't do anything. April 16th, Raw Week 2. John Cena comes out once again. He calls out Undertaker again. He wants another match because he thinks WrestleMania was unfair. He wants to prove that with enough time, he can beat the dead man. And then we go to Raw, April 16th. This is week 2 after WrestleMania. John Cena is going to come out again, calls out Undertaker. He says one more match. He wants one more match. And coincidentally, we got the Greatest Royal Rumble coming up. He wants it there. He says if Undertaker responds in time, he has enough time to... What are you doing?
I'm playing with Buddy.
Oh my goodness. He says if Taker responds in time, he'll have more time to prepare. And so a message comes up on the Titantron. And it says, "You're on. You will rest in peace." Skip on to April 23rd. This is the go-home show to the Greatest Royal Rumble. Undertaker actually comes out on Raw, and he confirms the match. He makes it a casket match. He makes it a casket match, much like it really was a casket match. And, you know, he cuts, you know, generic Undertaker promo. You know, it says Cena will fill the forearm of the dead man, and that Cena will rest in peace. So at the Greatest Royal Rumble, Cena and Undertaker goes, you know, 10-15 minutes. Doesn't have to be a super long match. And obviously it's a better match. Cena's more prepared. And there's points in the match that Cena looks like he's about to win. And, you know, it proves his point that, you know, maybe if he had more time at WrestleMania, he would have won there. However, in the end, Undertaker chokeslam Tombstone, puts Cena in casket. Undertaker wins. We don't see Cena anymore at all in the story. Alright, April 30th is the Raw after the Greatest Royal Rumble. And it's also the Backlash Go Home. Undertaker does come out on this Raw. He says that, you know, he's the dead man, but even the dead can't last forever. He said his soul, much like the rest of his opponents, must rest in peace. So May 6th, you got Backlash. In my version of Backlash, Randy regains the United States Championship by turning heel already and, you know, cheating against Jeff Hardy. And also, importantly, Shinsuke wins the WWE Championship after a low blow and a Kinshasa. Alright, May 8th, SmackDown after Backlash. Randy is gloating about winning against Jeff Hardy before, you know, he heads to commentary. Shelton Benjamin is set to face Jeff Hardy that night. It's just a SmackDown match. Before Jeff can win with the Swanton, Randy gets involved and causes the DQ. Shelton and Randy beat down Jeff until the lights go out. When the light comes back on, Randy and Shelton both get hit by the Black Mass. Aleister Black is on SmackDown Live.
That's not where I thought you were going with that light going out right there.
Yeah, I know. Alright, May 15th, another episode of SmackDown Live. Jeff Hardy is teaming with Daniel Bryan and Ty Dillinger to take on Randy, Shelton, and Ben Cass. Again, just another SmackDown match with the people they had at that time. Halfway through the show, Ty Dillinger is actually shown being beat down by the trio. And then later on the night when the main event is supposed to take place, Daniel Bryan's on the way to the ring, gets taken out by The Miz. So Jeff Hardy stands alone. But before the bell ring, Paige comes out, who by then is already, SmackDown general manager. And she says that there's one superstar in the back that has volunteered to help Jeff Hardy in this matchup. And it's AJ Styles.
Not where I thought you were going again. I thought it would be Alistair.
Although they are a strong team, Jeff and AJ, it's 2-on-3. They're gonna succumb to odds. Shinsuke comes out of nowhere from the crowd, low blows AJ while the ref is tending to Jeff, so he's out of the picture. And in the end, the team of 3 beat down Jeff to another DQ. Again, the lights go out, but this time Sanity is standing there and start beating down Randy and company. So now Sanity's on SmackDown Live. May 22nd, the opener is Killian Dane versus Big Cass. Dane, picks up a fairly easy win. And Eric Young and The Miz qualify for the SmackDown half of the Money in the Bank ladder match. May 29th on SmackDown, Samoa Joe and Aleister Black both qualify for SmackDown Money in the Bank. SmackDown's half of it. So you're looking at Miz, Eric Young, Samoa Joe, and Aleister Black. Alright, so June 5th. Tonight's the main event of that night. You want that.
Not Eric Young.
The main event of June 5th is just a SmackDown main event. It's Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, Aleister Black, and Eric Young versus Randy Orton, Shinsuke, Samoa Joe, and The Miz. Nothing, it doesn't matter, story-wise who wins.
Miz.
And then you got the June 12th, the go home to Money in the Bank. Randy and Shelton defeat Jeff Hardy and Daniel Bryan. Sanity defeat The Bar. AJ beats Joe, and Aleister beats Shinsuke. Money in the Bank. Aleister wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. Jeff Hardy wins back the United States Championship. Now Randy tries to attack Jeff after the match, but the lights go out. When they come back on, Undertaker has replaced Jeff Hardy, much like he did at SummerSlam with Punk, and he chokeslams and tombstones Randy, and then Shinsuke retains the title. Alright, now you got June 19th, the SmackDown after Money in the Bank. An irate Randy Orton demands his rematch for the United States Championship. Paige grants him the match, but not until the next week. June 26th, Jeff beats Randy again after Undertaker music starts playing to distract Randy Orton. After the match, Randy is getting up and sees the message that has come up onto the Titantron. Something old, something new. Randy, I'm coming for you. July 3rd, SmackDown Live. I'm going to stop saying SmackDown. The whole story's on SmackDown now. Randy Orton demands a match with The Undertaker for Extreme Rules. Undertaker actually comes out that night, however, he doesn't get in the ring. He explains to Randy Orton there is a specific list of superstars he must go through in a specific order before his soul can truly rest in peace. He's already dispatched of John Cena. His chapter was one last time. Randy is the next, and his chapter is almost over, as Randy came very close to ending the streak. Alright, July 10th, the go home to Extreme Rules. Sanity defeats the club, Samoa Joe defeats Ty Dillinger, Aleister Black defeats Shelton Benjamin, and Undertaker vs. Randy Orton is announced as another casket match. July 15th, Extreme Rules. Undertaker vs. Randy Orton is starting to get into second gear. Just like Cena, Randy takes Taker to the limit, but in the end, Undertaker comes out on top. AJ regains the WWE Championship. July 17th, the SmackDown after Extreme Rules. Neither Undertaker nor Randy are seen, so that one won't matter too much. July 24th, Undertaker appears on the Titantron in a graveyard. He is surrounded by 6 tombstones. One has John Cena's name on it, and another one has Randy Orton's. There are 4 blank. Undertaker says it's time for his quest to continue by taking out the next chapter, entitled New Blood. Alright, July 31st, Killian Dane is fighting Harper as they're in a feud with the Bludgeon Brothers. Lights go out. When they come back on, nothing's changed, no one's gone, no one's new. Sanity and Bludgeon Brothers all still ringside. However, Killian Dane's distracted, turns around to the discus clothesline. Harper wins. August 7th, Killian Dane, who was very annoyed by what happened last week, is going to town on Rowan. He is taking him back and forth across the ring, hitting him with everything he's got.
Yeah, spanking.
He's about to win until the lights go off once again. When they come back on this time, there's no Sanity, no Bludgeon Brothers, just Dane standing alone in the ring. He turns around and sees Undertaker's hat and coat in the middle of the ring. August 14th, the go home to SummerSlam. Killian Dane finally picks up a win alongside Eric Young against the Usos. However, after the match, Undertaker's theme song begins playing softly and the Titantron goes dark. A message appears. This one will be read. It's pretty long. Killian Dane, you are the Beast of Belfast. You have dominated the entire world. You are the new blood. Can you dominate the underworld? And then all those words go away, and all that you see is Undertaker versus Killian Dane Inferno match. Alright, August 19th, SummerSlam. Killian Dane proves to be Undertaker's greatest challenge yet. However, once again in the end, Undertaker wins. AJ retains the title against Aleister, and Aleister Black cashes in and wins the WWE Championship. Alright, so SmackDown after SummerSlam, Undertaker actually returns to SmackDown again. I have him coming in a lot. It's kind of important to the story. He wouldn't be here that much. He's too old for that. But anyway, so SmackDown after SummerSlam. Undertaker's on SmackDown this week. He says he's closer than ever before to his final resting place. Chapter 3 is over, and there are 3 more to go. Next week, August 28th, Samoa Joe is walking backstage when the hall lights go out. When they come back on again, the Undertaker is standing right behind him, and he attacks Joe. September 4th, Undertaker goes out and declares that Chapter 4 is titled The Destroyer. Next week, September 11th, the Go Home to Hell in a Cell. Samoa Joe comes out, calls the Undertaker, and they get to a pull-apart brawl. So then, Hell in a Cell, Samoa Joe versus Undertaker. You know, much to form Samoa Joe, just like everyone else, keeps getting worse and worse for the Undertaker. You know, they're on commentary, they'll put over how much each match is taking out of Taker, and, you know, he's getting closer and closer to losing a match. And after a chokeslam through a table, Undertaker beats Samoa Joe. And Aleister Black retains the WWE Championship. Alright, so here we're going to skip over quite a bit. Aleister Black, you know, I just put him against Shinsuke because why not? Defeating for the at Super Showdown. Undertaker defeats Triple H. It's not storyline. And again, not storyline. He's going to obviously be there for SmackDown 1000. But since so much is going on, you know, you don't want the story to be overshadowed. So he was just there for the nostalgia. So we pick up properly back at November 5th. Other than those 2 non-candid out-of-storyline appearances, we haven't seen Undertaker since Hell in a Cell in September. So November 5th, you know, just randomly the gong goes off, and another read aloud message is on the Titantron. I had to take a break from my quest in order to build my strength. My final 2 chapters will be the toughest of all. At Survivor Series, the birthplace of the dead man, the road to my final resting place will fade to black. And the go home to Survivor Series. Aleister Black accepts Undertaker's championship challenge, and Paige makes it official. And you got Survivor Series. Undertaker versus Aleister Black. You know, they probably have an absolute war. Strikes from both men, kicks, all kinds of big boots. And neither man wants to give their opponent an inch, as they would in a championship match. And Taker, who can't hit the tombstone the entire match, that's part of it, finally hits the tombstone at the end of the match. And not only does he beat Aleister Black to close Chapter 5, he is once again the WWE Champion. Now we skip ahead again to the Royal Rumble. Number 30 is about to come out. 3, 2, 1. It's the Velveteen Dream. He is the number 30 spot. And you know, after about 5 minutes of wrestling, the final 4 come down to Velveteen Dream, Samoa Joe, Aleister Black, and Seth Rollins. 2 of those guys obviously are Undertaker's most recent victims. Samoa Joe eliminates Aleister Black, Seth Rollins eliminates Samoa Joe, and the Velveteen Dream wins the 2019 Royal Rumble.
By eliminating Seth freaking Rollins.
Exactly. Now, I don't really have a build between them there and Chamber because you don't need one. But, you know, anywhere between Rumble and Chamber, Velveteen Dream is officially drafted to SmackDown. And then at Chamber, he'll beat Samoa Joe in a hard-fought match just to put him over. And Undertaker comes out afterwards, and the 2 have an intense stare-down in the middle of the ring to close out the show. So you got March 26, 2019. Undertaker announces that his match with The Dream will be a Buried Alive match. April 2nd, the go-home to WrestleMania 35, Velveteen Dream will beat Kane to build some momentum. Alright, here we go. WrestleMania 35, April 7th, 2019. Undertaker enters, and his druids roll 6 caskets down to the stage, 3 on each side, to symbolize Taker's latest victims. Velveteen and Undertaker have a lot of good storytelling and have a good match, but in the end, Velveteen Dream reverses the chokeslam up on the mound into the Dream Driver into the grave. He gets out, covers up the Undertaker. Velveteen Dream has defeated the Undertaker at WrestleMania in a Buried Alive match to win the WWE Championship. April 9th, SmackDown afterwards, Velveteen Dream comes out to celebrate his win. Undertaker comes out and says that he never said what the title of Chapter 6 is. The title of the 6th and final chapter is The Future. In the prophecy that explained the demise of the Undertaker required the Velveteen Dream to win. Even though Taker gave him everything he had on Sunday, Dream still won and fulfilled the prophecy and is without a doubt the future of the company. Taker says that now the soul of Mark Calloway can finally rest in peace. The lights go out, they come back on, and Undertaker is gone for good. And I have a short little epilogue here. Hall of Fame 2020. Daniel Bryan inducts Kane. Velveteen Dream inducts The Undertaker. I was going to have Kane do it, but it's the story is Velveteen, so I had Daniel do Kane. And that's how I have Undertaker retire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, on to J. King's fantasy booking. Now this is pretty important. At Super Showdown, The Undertaker defeats Triple H via Hell's Gate.
That's love that submission, don't you?
That's not as important as the next thing, but Kevin Owens defeats John Cena via roll-up. That's an important part of this story. Okay, SmackDown 1000. Kurt Angle opens the show announcing that he will be the guest general manager for tonight's edition of SmackDown Live. Kurt Angle runs down the card. The Miz versus Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles defending his WWE Championship against Samoa Joe, and appearances by John Cena and The Undertaker have been announced. Then, Brock Lesnar's music hits. Brock Lesnar storms down to the ring, getting in Angle's face, pushing him slightly back, while at the same time grabbing Kurt's mic, and says, "Kurt, why don't you go ahead and hobble back to Gorilla where you belong? This is the Beast ring, and you have no business being in it, considering the last time you were in the same ring with me, I laid your ass out with an F5.
Good callback.
Brock, you're not wrong about that, but this time I'm prepared for anything, because when you F5 me, you showed to the world what a coward you were, and that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get your way. You know you weren't wrong that Brock hoists Kurt onto his shoulders, hitting an F5. Lesnar drops Angle with a second and third F5 and is about to lock in the Kimura clutch when John Cena's music hits. Cena storms down to the ring and starts hammering Lesnar with hard lefts, sending Brock into the ropes. On the ricochet off the ropes, Cena picks Lesnar up for the AA, but Brock slips out, gets out of the ring, leaving Cena and Angle alone in the ring. Brock's up on the stage. Angle starts to slowly get up, grabs the mic from the canvas. Brock, you want to fight? You got one. Tonight against John Cena in the main event.
SmackDown, damn.
Both Cena and Lesnar look ready for the fight as they stare each other down from the ring and the stage. Show rolls by with the scheduled matches. Miz loses to Daniel Bryan. Randy Orton defeats Jeff Hardy. AJ retains. But no one's seen The Undertaker yet, and he's been announced for an appearance. Cena and Lesnar both make their entrances and are awaiting the start of the match. The bell rings. Lesnar charges Cena, spearing him into the turnbuckle, repeatedly laying his shoulder into his abdomen. Lesnar hits a German and an F5 on Cena. He rolls out of the ring, crawls towards the timekeeper's area. Lesnar exits the ring, stalks Cena as he makes it to his feet. Once he's standing, Lesnar charges Cena, flying through the barricade. Cena immediately picks up Lesnar, AAs him through the announce table. Makes his way back into the ring, and the lights go out. They come back on, the referee's down, and Kevin Owens hits a super kick on Cena and a pop-up powerbomb. Owens goes to the outside, grabs Brock, lays him on top of Cena, throws the ref back in. 1, 2, 3. As the referee calls for the bell, KO picks up Brock, hits a pop-up powerbomb, grabs a steel chair. Owens slowly climbs into the ring smiling, stands over Lesnar, is ready to swing the chair when the lights go out. They come back on. KO proceeds to swing the chair, but hits nothing. Nobody's there. Cena and Lesnar's bodies both gone. The only two men in the ring right now are Kevin Owens and The Undertaker, who's standing directly behind KO. Owens drops the chair, looks at the canvas, confused, turns around into a big boot and chokeslam. Next 3 weeks, none of the men are seen except Angle and KO, and on Raw. Over the course of the 3 weeks, Kurt's trying to figure out why KO was involved in the Cena-Brock match and why Taker wanted to take out KO, but Owens doesn't reveal anything. He just keeps saying, at Survivor Series, everyone will see. And at this point in time, a rumor has been going around that Taker will be announcing his very last match at Survivor Series. And that's basically all the build up to Survivor Series that I need for this story. And at Survivor Series, the entire night KO is shown looking over his shoulder backstage and dodging everyone, basically. And midway through the show, there's another shot of Kevin Owens. But he's not walking around. He's not looking suspicious. He's laid out with a small puddle of blood coming from his mouth. See what I did there? No. Hell's Gates would make his opponents bleed from the mouth. Kevin Owens is found backstage, bleeding from the mouth. This causes the commentator to speculate. Was it Cena, Lesnar? Could have been The Undertaker? Show's about to close out with Braun Strowman defeating Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase after Roman Reigns defeated Bobby Lashley. Roman begins to walk up the ramp celebrating when The Undertaker attacks him from behind, drags him to the ring, gives him a tombstone on the Universal Championship. Taker grabs the mic. There have been many men to step up, and all of them have fallen to me, except two. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And those two men will fall. The Royal Rumble, I'm going to take the Universal Championship from the man you see falling before me right now. Once I attain the Universal Championship, my final match will take place at WrestleMania, where I will bury one final soul. The lights go out, and the show ends. The next night on Raw is opened by Roman Reigns, who comes out, grabs the mic, and is about to talk. When KO's music hits, he comes down to the ring, grabs the mic, and attacks Roman with it. No words are said. KO hits a pop-up powerbomb, hits Roman with a steel chair, picks up his mic again. At the Royal Rumble, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure you lose that championship to Mark. I will win the Royal Rumble and end him at WrestleMania. I will take that son of a bitch Brock Lesnar for what he did to me at Survivor Series. KO walks to the back and leaves the arena. Raw, November 26th. John Cena is scheduled to appear, and Kevin Owens is scheduled to fight Roman Reigns in the main event, where if Kevin Owens wins, he will be facing Roman Reigns at TLC for the Universal Championship. John's appearance is a backstage interview with Renee Young, and it's a typical interview until John's asked about Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is a very, very smart man, but when he chose to attack me from behind at SmackDown 1000, he lost all the respect I had for him, and at the Royal Rumble I'm guaranteeing that I will be the man to eliminate Kevin Owens. Winning is not on my mind. Making Kevin pay is the only thing I care about, making him feel pain and humiliation. Thank you for having me, Renee. John proceeds to take off his mic and walk away. KO and Roman come out, put on one hell of a match, and after a solid 20 minutes of action, KO hits a pop-up powerbomb out of nowhere. And in the process, he stumbles back into the referee, knocking the ref out of the ring. Now the ref being down, KO takes full advantage, grabs a steel chair and brutalizes Roman Reigns. And after his brutalization with the steel chair, he hits a pop-up powerbomb onto the chair. Throws the chair out of the ring, grabs the ref, pulls him back in, covers him. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns at TLC for the Universal Championship. Next week, Roman isn't on the show, but KO will be interviewed. Kevin Owens. At TLC, I'm not going to win the Universal Championship. I'm going to beat Roman Reigns to a pulp and leave him for dead. I'm going to repeatedly hit pop-up powerbomb after pop-up powerbomb and make him wish he wasn't the man The Undertaker will beat at the Royal Rumble. Renee, you have an opportunity at the Universal Championship and you're not going to attempt to win it? That's absurd. Kevin, I'm not going to win it because if I go into the Royal Rumble as champion, then I won't be able to destroy that has-been Mark Calloway at WrestleMania. We're done here. You can leave now. At TLC, KO lives up to his promise and absolutely destroys Roman Reigns, delivers 7 pop-up powerbombs, 13 super kicks. Coming down to the final moments, Kevin Owens hits a tombstone pile driver. KO gets up, rolls out of the ring, walks up the ramp, and says, "I hope you enjoyed your reign, Roman." KO isn't seen until the Royal Rumble. The Undertaker versus Roman Reigns, Royal Rumble 2019. They basically recreate the WrestleMania 33 matchup until the last 3 minutes. Taker and Roman are both down when KO runs down to the ring once again, destroys Roman with a steel chair after taking out the referee. Owens places Reigns' ankle in the chair and stomps it, breaking Roman's ankle. KO hits one chair shot straight to Taker's head, places him onto Roman. Undertaker is the new Universal Champion. Royal Rumble match. Brock Lesnar enters number 8. John Cena enters number 19. Kevin Owens enters number 27.
Oh, man.
We get to the final 5. KO, Cena, Lesnar. The 2 men that have vendettas for what KO did to them on SmackDown 1000. Randy Orton and the newly returned Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn begin attacking Brock Lesnar as Cena and Orton duke it out when all of a sudden Brock throws Sami over the top rope, eliminating him. Hits 3 German suplexes on Kevin Owens, sending him under the bottom rope, leaving Cena and Orton standing. Orton hits an RKO out of nowhere on John Cena, followed by an F5. Cena is knocked out cold. Lesnar and Orton are staring down for the first time since SummerSlam 2016, when Randy hits an RKO out of nowhere, eliminates Brock Lesnar. KO super kicks Randy Orton over the top rope, eliminating him. Slowly turns around and begins stomping on John Cena's head. KO picks him up, tosses Cena over the rope onto the apron. Goes for a super kick, but Cena catches it, pulls KO over the rope, standing on the apron with him. When Sami Zayn pulls Cena's legs out, Kevin Owens wins the Royal Rumble, guaranteeing him a match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. In the lead up to WrestleMania, Kevin Owens is not seen on Raw, but he does have a training montage shown every week, making it known that he is getting ready for the biggest fight of his entire career. As for The Undertaker, he shows up on Raw twice. Both times he cuts a promo about how he will bury Kevin Owens' soul at WrestleMania, and how his persona may go away, but his legacy will live forever in the ring. WrestleMania 35 main event. Kevin Owens enters first, wearing attire that follows the same color scheme of The Undertaker's debut attire. Purple, black, and gray.
That's cool.
The Undertaker comes to the ring solid black. His trench coat solid black, buttons are black, his hat no ribbon, solid black, everything is black. And there's no lights throughout the arena except for one single red spotlight centered on The Undertaker as he makes his way to the ring. He steps into the ring, the spotlight goes away, the lights come up. Kevin Owens and The Undertaker stare each other down until the bell rings. Or KO instantly hits a super kick, sending Undertaker into the ropes, allowing KO to hit a pop-up powerbomb. 1, 2, Taker kicks out.
Oh, damn.
Causing KO to lose his shit. Kevin picks up Taker, throws him into the ropes again, but Taker hits a big boot, knocking Owens to the mat, bumping, feeding into a chokeslam. Last ride, tombstone. Undertaker doesn't go for the pin right away. Instead, he stands over KO, slits his throat, says, "Rest in peace." Taker grabs KO by the beard, sets him on his shoulders, lowers him down, ready to drop for the tombstone. When KO flips it, hits one on Undertaker. Kevin Owens slits his throat, taunting Undertaker, throws him in the ropes, hips up, pop-up powerbomb. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, man.
Kevin Owens defeats The Undertaker at WrestleMania 35 for the Universal Championship, thus ending his championship reign and the illustrious career of the Dead Man.
Nice.
So there you have it, TKW Warriors. Jay King
TJ Hunter.
with our fantasy booking of The Undertaker's retirement.
Had the same ending in the end.
But, yeah, on another note. So, you may notice that in our previous videos, we too sweet quite a lot. No longer will you see too sweet.
It's used. It's used goods, used goods. We gotta be original.
So from here on out, the Click has Too Sweet. The Bullet Club That's one sweet.
Don't call it what I think you're about to call it, please.
What do you think I'm gonna call it?
3 sweet?
No.
Oh, good. Oh, man. That would have been cringe. I would have quit again. Jesus.
We don't have a name for it. It was going to be 3 sweet.
Jesus
But
Christ. I may
TJ
have left, but I know how your brain works.
TJ, myself, and Danny will now be using our own little hand gesture.
It's the 2 sweet mixed with the V1.
This is for all the TKW OGs out there.
All 2 of you. We love all 2 of you.
This video has just been super sweet.
I like it.